For those of you who have just joined us, welcome to Borehamwood, the Hertfordshire County Championships 2022, session number 5. We've got a jam-packed session for you with the men's 100 metres breaststroke starting us off, the women's 100 metres freestyle going into the men's 200 metres butterfly, and then rounding off the session, finishing off the session with the women's 200 metres backstroke. We are just about to get underway, making our final few checks. And we should be getting underway with heat number 1 very, very soon indeed.
Hola. Go first.
We move on then to end 3:01, the men's open 100 metres breaststroke. This will be swum over 10 heats. Heat 1, referee. In lane number 1, we have Edward Lana from Tring. Royston's Harry Arnold Pepper goes in 2. Thomas Fenwick of Verulam in lane number 3. Lane 4 is Milan Cook of Harpenden. Gabrielle Tegart of Watford goes in 5. James Hallam of Harpenden in lane number 6. And in lane number 7 from Hatfield, Joshua Jeffrey. And at the halfway stage there, it looks like a absolutely fantastic swim from Edward Lana thus far of Tring over in lane number 1. He's turning at least 4 seconds, well, just a little bit below 4 seconds in front of his nearest competitor. And as you can see there, that gap is incredibly wide as he turns on to his final 25 metres on this 100 metres breaststroke in heat number 1. And Edward there touching with a time of 1:20.29, subject to confirmation. Second position goes to Joshua Jeffrey in lane number 7, 1:30.37. And third position goes there to Harry Arnold Pepper, 1:36.71 over in lane number 2. And that concludes heat number 1 of the men's 100 metres breaststroke.
Un, deux.
Moving on then to heat number 2, over to you, referee. In lane 1, we have Charlie Heisted from Hemel Hempstead. His teammate William Rogers joins him in lane number 2. Lane 3 is Theo Smith of Hitchin, Nicolo Camalotti of Hatfield in lane 4. Lane 5 is Max Slesiak from Cheshunt. Ramsey Gill of the City of St Albans in lane 6. George Lovett of Watford goes in 7, and in lane number 8 is Sebastian Brown of Verulam. And could I please remind swimmers that once you have finished your race, please vacate the poolside as soon as possible. Otherwise it does get incredibly crowded, and unfortunately that does cause some confusion. So please ensure that you do in fact clear the pool as soon as possible. But we return now to heat number 2 of the men's 100-meter breaststroke. Not as decisive as the last heat, but certainly a lead from Theo Smith in lane 3 of Hitchin. Followed in second at the turn then by Nicolo Camalotti of Hatfield and Ramsey Gill of the City of St Albans. And now we come down to the final few strokes for them, and it's going to be incredibly tight between Theo and Nicolo, but it does look like Nicolo Camalotti of Hatfield is just going to take that there with a time of 1:31.04. Theo Smith in second, 1:32.06, and Ramsey Gill touching third, 1:32.50, concluding heat number 2 of the men's 100 meters breaststroke. We now move on to heat number 3. Over to you, referee. Hatfield's Henry Martin goes in lane number 1. Lane 2 is William Harris of Watford. Harry Reville of Ware goes in 3. James Gibson of Hemel Hempstead in 4. Matthew Jennings of Harpenden goes in lane number 5. Lane 6 is William Lees of Royston. Khyber Patel of Potters Bar in 7. And Luke Peterson of Hatfield goes in lane number 8. This is looking like a very strong swim indeed from Hemel Hempstead's James Gibson in lane number 4. Now onto the final 10 metres of this 100 metres breaststroke. He has quite a substantial lead by quite a substantial margin here as he prepares to come in and touch in lane number 4 with a time of 1:20.72. I have a notice of disqualification. Event 301, heat 1, lane 7 for a technical infraction. That's event 301, heat 1, lane 7 for a technical infraction. Moving on to heat number 4. Over to you, referee. Could I ask all competitors for the women's 100 metres freestyle to make their way to the marshalling area, please? That's all competitors for the women's 100 metres freestyle to make their way to the marshalling area, please. But we are on to heat number 4 of the men's 100 metres breaststroke. In lane 1 from Verulam, Oliver Fenwick. Lane 2 is Alban Gill of the City of St Albans. Lane number 3 is Robert Gore of Bishop Stortford. Charlie Clark of Potters Bar goes in 4. Leo Suno Saunders of Bishop Stortford in 5. Ryan Ingram of Hemel Hempstead in 6. Eric Uptas of Hoddesdon goes in 7. And in lane number 8, Barnaby O'Donnell of Bushy. We seem to be seeing some quite decisive swims in this 100 metres breaststroke in these heats, but coming into lane number 4 is Charlie Clark. He touches there with a time of 1:22.83. Eric Uptas in second, 1:26.07. And third, Alban Gill of the City of St Albans, 1:26.74. Of course, all of those results subject to confirmation. We now move on to heat number 5, referee. In lane number 1, we have Max Waters of Hemel Hempstead. Lane 2, Vincent Campos of the City of St Albans. Alexander Ball of Potters Bar goes in lane 3. Chun Ho Chan of Verulam in 4. Lane number 5 is Matthew Evener of Hatfield. Thomas Craig of Harpenden goes in lane 6. William Lockwood of Hatfield in 7. And Miles Bentley Greaves of Hertford goes in 8.
That one yourself.
Thomas Craig of Harpenden there in lane number 6, touching with a time of 1:21.45. And that concludes heat number 5 of the 100 metres breaststroke. We now move on to heat 6, referee.
Being dramatic, okay? You're not a girl, correct? Right? Okay, girls are dramatic, boys, okay, we didn't do a good time, fine. And it wasn't.
In lane number 1, we have from Hemel Hempstead George Paul. Oscar Chaplin of the City of St Albans goes in 2. Thomas Lilliard of Ware goes in lane 3. Lane 4 is Oliver Solomon of Tring. Whereas Archie Rand goes in lane 5. Lane 6 is Toby Martin of Harpenden, and Jack Blake of Hertford goes in 7. Raphael John of Hoddesdon in 8.
5:46.7. So it's just the handbrake a little bit higher. It wasn't too bad. For sure, the only thing needed in the race is a little bit
And touching first in that heat is Raphael John in lane number 8, 1:16.78. Of course, that is subject to confirmation. We now move on to Heat 7. Over to you, referee. Atkin Toe of Ware goes in 1, Samuel Jeffrey of Hatfield in lane number 2, Thomas Hooper of the City of St Albans in 3, Joseph Collins of Bishop Stortford in 4. In lane number 5 we have Jamie Joshua of Hatfield, Andrew McDonald of Stevenage goes in 6, William Buckley of Watford in 7, and in lane number 8 from Potters Bar, James Renton. This is very tight for heat number 7 of the 100 metres breaststroke. It looks like Andrew McDonald may just be pushing in front, but touching first there is going to be Jamie Joshua of Hatfield, 1:15.46. Second goes to Samuel Jeffrey, and third to William Buckley of Watford in lane 7. Of course, that is subject to confirmation. Moving on then to Heat 8. Over to you, referee. In lane number 1, Alex Twyford of Bushy, Andrew Tembra of the City of St Albans goes in 2, Ethan Howard of Potters Bar in 3. Lane 4 is Luke Flynn of Watford. Potters Bar's Noah Cornwell goes in for 5. Aaron Cronadi of Watford goes in 6. Joe Reynolds goes in lane number 7 for Hertford. And in lane number 8, Callum Bozanu of Hemel Hempstead. A very strong start here from Luke Flynn in lane number 4. Noah Cornwell of Potters Bar following him over in lane number 5. With Alex Twyford of Bushy in lane 1 in third position there. But having a look at that swim, Luke Flynn doing incredibly well here. And of course, I believe these final 3 heats, Heat 8, Heat 9 and Heat 10, are in fact seeded, because if they do swim here fast enough, they will be making the championship final in a very, very short period of time indeed. Luke Flynn there going the fastest time of this morning, one would say. This afternoon. 1:09.05, securing himself a place in the final. Of course, that is subject to confirmation. Noah Cornwell also doing very well there. As we now move on to the penultimate heat, Heat 9, referee. In lane 1, Charlie Stanbury. Lane 2, Luke Payne. Lucas Hartley goes in 3. Dominic McCarthy in lane 4. Lane 5 is Matthias Morse. Lane 6, George Lovelock. David Badcock goes in 7, and Kai Adams in lane number 8. Looking like Dominic McCarthy is taking somewhat of a commanding lead here in heat number 9, trying to secure his place in the championship final. He turns 33.14. Matthias Morse very closely behind him, 33.6. Still all to play for though. Have a look, Matthias Morse really starting to come back strong on this back end. Can Dominic McCarthy hold him off? We shall soon see, as all of the competitors now turn on to their final 25 metres. Dominic McCarthy still going strong here in lane number 4. Final stroke for him there, and that's going to be a 1:08.74, quite a bit off of his personal best, which seems to be a 1:03.98, but securing himself most likely, of course, subject to qualification, into this afternoon's final. Moving on then to Heat 10, referee. Benjamin Taggart goes in lane 1, William Presland into lane number 3 is Jack Ranulph, Lewis Shaler goes in 4, Daniel Hollis in lane number 5. Lane 6 is Jake Moore, George Prince goes in 7, and Jago Darrington in lane number 8. Lewis Shaler, though, he's up first. What a stroke from him, incredibly fast, great sprint stroke, but Daniel Hollis is not too far behind from the city of St Albans in lane number 5. So very tight there, but 31.77 Lewis turns on. Daniel Hollis not too far behind there on a 32.44. Jake Moore in 3rd. Daniel Hollis, though, you can see the energy, you can see the effort going into this race here, trying to hunt down Lewis Shaler, but it may be too little too late as they both turn on to the final 25 metres here. Lewis Shaler still going strong, actually widening that gap between him and Daniel Hollis. Final 5 metres now for Lewis Shaler. He's going to be touching on a time of 1:05.68. Daniel Hollis in a respectable second there, 1:08.9, and Jack Ranulph 1:12.28. One would be certainly surprised if Lewis and Daniel in 4 and 5 don't make the championship final. Whether or not anyone else from that heat will make that final is a very different question indeed, and one which shall be answered in due course. Can we clear the pool to the sides, please, the swimmers? Thank you. As the gentlemen exit the pool, just to remind you that you can keep up to date with all of the live results from that event and the others via Sports Systems. As we now get underway with event 302, the Women's Open 100 metres freestyle. This will be swum over 17 heats. Heat 1, referee.
I was trying to do that one.
The arm are really good.
Yeah?
The arm are really good. No, you take water wider than before, but you're really powerful on the upper body, less on the kick.
Alright.
Now, maybe adding one more stroke per lap,
Yeah?
to have more rhythm on the kick,
Okay.
compensate the slow kick. The one, 1:14.68, kick 35.42.
In lane 2 from Hitchin, Jasmine Brackenbury. Olivia Kavanagh of Potters Bar goes in 2. Lewis Fields of Bishop Stortford in 4.
Okay.
Hezzy McLean of Stevenage in 5. Grace Mason of Bishop Stortford in 6. And Sarah Wojciak of Hatfield in lane 7. Now the surname Fields, I'm told, is one of which we are going to hear quite regularly. We have a pair of sisters and I believe a pair of cousins as well. A very, very kind lady from Bishop Stortford came and told me that, so if I am wrong on that, please come and correct me. But the point is, we're going to be seeing a lot of Fields in this 100 meters freestyle, and we have 17 heats of this. So it is hardly surprising there, but it's a little bit unusual, a little bit quirky. As
But it's good. See, on the first 50, you're maybe too much on, let's say, on low stroke count.
200 breaths.
5, 7, 8, 8. 5, 7, 8, 8 or 9 on the
and that concludes heat
I don't think it's DQ.
heat number 1.
So run 13, 20. See, you're splitting 35, 81, so the first half is low. So, but you're way back, so that's really good.
We now move on to heat 2. Over to you, referee.
Yeah, the trauma breaststroke should be fine. Huh?
Yeah.
But the first, on the first 50, you were too deep on
I won't make the final though.
on the first 50, you were too deep on every push-off. The way you do your underwater is good, but too deep. So that's why you have to wait. Normally, at the end of the push-off, you should dive a little bit and be able to do your first stroke, not like 2 more meters.
I have a notice of disqualification. Event 301, heat 10, lane 8 for a technical infraction. That's event 301, heat 10, lane 8 for a technical infraction. Moving on to heat 3, over to you, referee. In lane 1, Lydia Buckland. Lane 2, Liliana Sofla. Lane 3, Cassandra Piera. Lane 4, Alexandra Georgiou. Lane number 5 is Liliana Sawinska. Lane 6, I do apologise, Maisie Martindale. Isabella Dunn goes in 7, and Anna Lapinsinsia goes in 8. on then to heat number 4. Over to you, referee. In lane number 1, Paige Goldhawk, lane 2, Emily Clark. Zoe Aponio goes in 3. Lane number 4 is Tia Gregory. Alexandra Quiniloska goes in 5. Lane 6 is Lucy Peterson. Sophie Williams goes in 7. And Molly Seymour in lane number 8. Heat 5, referee. In lane 1, Rachel Beasley. Lane 2 is Chloe Alton. Grace Ball goes in 3. Daisy Hill in 4. Angelica Lazarskate goes in lane number 5. Holly Cuthbert goes in lane 6. Lane number 7 is Phoebe Griffiths. And in lane number 8 is Gigi Rabacek-Smith.
Same. What do you want?
Heat 6, referee. In lane 1, Leda Chipikukus. Lane 2, Honor Beverstock. 3 is Phoebe Matthews. Gianni Vianney goes in lane number 4. Catherine Clune in lane number 5. Lane 6 is Autumn Shine. Kwan Yi Chan of Bishopsdorfer goes in 7. And Matilda Tremeo Wells goes in lane number 8. Can we please clear the water via the sides, please, swimmers? Clear the water via the sides. There will be a slight delay whilst the lifeguard gets a piece of debris out of the water. But no harm, we shall be resuming shortly. It's not a broken window.
It's a piece of
You see, you can, once we finish with that, you can come back and join the party here at the Hertfordshire County Championships 2022, session number 5. And of course, you can keep up to date with the live results via Sports Systems and relive the action, relive the experiences via the Swim England Hertfordshire YouTube channel.
we push up the wall, right? And the ball carry that speed with less in order to swim at the right intensity easier. Imagine you're swimming, you're running 10 meters, and then you have a 10 meter swim speed, 10, but in a row. And then imagine you're running 10 meters, you stop, and you split on 10 meters. Which one is the fastest? The one you keep going or the one you stop? Yeah, it's the same when you're doing it. So you got the speed. Obviously, it won't stop you totally, but yeah, it breaks the rhythm. Instead of running more, having the nice rhythm and carry the speed with you, which is easier, you have more speed. And
Swimmers in the gallery, could I just ask that you don't touch any of the cables, the wires, or the microphones? What we don't want is something going wrong, or even worse, someone getting a little bit of a shock. We certainly don't want that, so please, please, don't fiddle with wires, microphones, cables, etc., etc. Thank you very much. And I believe the team of lifeguards may have retrieved the debris in the water. I say that with apprehension. Now, have we got a volunteer swimmer? I just need one. Put your hand up. Yes, young lady, please come down. We need you to come and help us retrieve a little bit of plastic from the water. Thank you very much. Yes, unfortunately, you're not able to jump over the barrier. Matilda, your sacrifice will be forever immortalised in Swim England Hertfordshire history. Big round of applause for Matilda, everyone. Hear, hear. Jolly good. This is a little bit like Total Wipeout, which used to be on BBC One. Have we had success? I'm looking for a thumbs up.
Just go. Just go. The piece will fall off. Yeah, but Evans, the piece will fall off, so just go.
And resuming the swimming, moving on then to heat number 7. Over to you, referee. In lane number 1, we have Caitlin Walters. Lane 2, Isabel Mullings. Isla Cable goes in 3. Erin Younger goes in lane number 4. Ava Black in lane 5, with in lane number 6, Holly Haynes. Lane 7 is Sophie Coleman, and in lane number 8, Jasmine Piera. Moving on then to heat number 8. Over to you, referee. In lane 1, we have Tia Patel. Verity Billingham goes in 2. Hannah Lovelock in lane number 3. In lane 4, we have Kira May Ingram. Gemma Robertson goes in 5. Isabella Savage in 6. Alice O'Toole in 7. And in lane number 8, we have Anska Ivanova. Moving on then to heat number 9, referee. Jessica Dunnage goes in 1, Charlotte Brakenbury in 2, Caitlin Hare in 3. Then number 4 is Rachel Carpenter. Sophie Green goes in 5, Georgina Hamilton in 6, Verity Fuge in lane number 7, and Scarlett Harrison Ruler in lane number 8. We now move on to heat number 10. Over to you, referee. Emily Cairn-Cross goes in lane number 1, lane 2 Jessica Warren, Megan Worley in lane 3, Olivia Lydon in 4, Isabella Dalton goes in lane number 5, Lucy Coyabel of the City of St Albans in 6, Isabella Good in lane 7, and in lane number 8 is Sophie Stelmarch. Lucy Coyabel there of the City of St Albans taking first, 104.95. Can we clear the pool via the sides, please? Let's clear the pool via the sides.
Yeah, have you seen Chris? I think he's going to leave that bike up there all day.
We're just having a slight technical delay, ladies and gentlemen, so please do bear with us. We'll get this issue resolved as soon as possible. Now, could I ask that if you're not eating, drinking, or swimming, that you remember to wear a face mask, please? We have had some complaints, so just to remind you of the policy, if you're not eating, drinking, or swimming, please have a face mask on. Thank you. What's the phrase? Hands, face, space. Get boosted now. Moving on then to heat number 11. Over to you, referee. In lane 1, we have Amy Harper. Lane 2, Maya Gosh. Lane 3 is Ellie Eber. Annabelle Brown goes in 4. Georgia Darcy in 5. Katie Gorman goes in lane number 6. Isabella Hammond in 7. And Holly Morgan in lane number 8. Moving on then to heat number 12. Over to you, referee. In lane 1, Josephine Reed. Kate Hopper joins her in 2. Lucinda Stanley in lane number 3. Lane 4 is Jemima Cross. Imogen Tang goes in 5. Maya Chacknell in 6. Sophie Hollis in lane number 7. And Neve O'Mara in lane number 8. Moving on then to heat number 13. Over to you, referee. In lane 1, Keely White. Lane 2, Emily Young. Jessica Bright goes in 3. Bella Parkhurst goes in 4. Elizabeth Standen in 5. Lane number 6 is Katie Jeffrey. And in lane number 7 is Amy Borum. Moving on to heat 14, over to you, referee. In lane 1, Jessica Fields. Lane 2, Olivia Matfield. Emily Preston goes in 3. Eva Ives in 4. Erin Curry in lane number 6. Alice Green goes in lane 6. Molly Brundle in 7. And Sophie Clark goes in lane number 8. We now move on to heat 15. Over to you, referee. So we start the seeded heats now for a place in the championship final very soon indeed. In lane 1 we have Tamsin Moran, lane 2 Emma Fields, Alice Longman goes in 3, Millie Fields in 4, Charlotte William goes in lane 5, Ashley Cooper in 6, Hannah Brooke in 7 and Camille Vernier in lane number 8. After the first 25, then it's looking like a strong start from Charlotte Williams of Hatfield. Millie Fields in second at the turn. Alice Longman and Hannah Brooke not too far behind each other, or indeed Charlotte and Millie. But coming up then to the final turn, it still looks like Charlotte Williams is in the lead, only by a fraction though. Millie Fields really starting to come back here. It does look like it's neck and neck between them, but now Charlotte Williams starting to pull forward. And at the touch, who's going to get it? It's going to be Millie Fields, just 59.82, the fastest time we've had this afternoon. Charlotte Williams of Hatfield goes in second. Hannah Brooke of the City of St Albans goes in third there. One would assume that those are the fastest times we've seen this afternoon, securing themselves, of course, awaiting confirmation of the result in the championship final, but we still have 2 heats to go, and we're just about to get underway with the penultimate one now. Heat 16, referee. These ladies will have seen that time which Millie Fields posted in that previous heat. They'll be looking to aim and beat that. A strong start here from Georgina Talent of Potters Bar in lane number 4. In lane 1 we have Eleanor Mason, lane 2 Caitlin O'Toole, Neve James in 3, Louise Fiddis in 5, Gabriela Gomez-Pavon in lane number 6, Emola Josler in lane 8, and Catherine Ryan goes in 7. But touching first, Georgina Talon in lane number 4. She is in front. Neve James slightly behind her, with Gabriela Gomez-Pavon in lane 6 in third position here. But we come on now to the final turn. It is still Georgina Talon of Potters Bar in the lead here. She is being threatened though by Neve James in lane number 3. and Gabriela Gomez-Pavon in lane 6. It's going to be incredibly tight on the touch. Who's going to be getting that touch? It is going to be Gabriela Gomez-Pavon, 1 minute .98. Georgina Talon in second. Neve James in third. Those ladies, they've swum a fast time there, but is it fast enough to make the championship final? We have one final heat until we will be able to find out and confirm that result for you.
Go, Kirsty, go here. So, yes, here you focus too much, see? No, here, it's me.
Moving on then to heat 17. Over to you, referee.
That means the way back is not bad at all. 30, 34, 31, that's 31.8 on the way back. It's not bad.
In lane number 1, we have Evie Thompson. Lane 2, Megan Gray. Ellie Hollis in 3. Jessica Woodward in 4. Amy Pemberton in 5. Victoria Daly in 6. Kirsty Neal in 7. And Lillian Apoyu in lane number 8. Jessica Woodward is the fastest qualifier in this heat. She's turning first, 27.90. Amy Pemberton in second. Victoria Daly in third with Ellie Hollis not too far behind. But Jessica Woodward, she's built up a fantastic lead on that first 50. She's carrying it through as she reaches the final turn here. Final 20 meters now for Jessica Woodward. Undoubtedly going to be probably the fastest time of this afternoon for the women's 100 meters freestyle. Jessica Woodward, the pink hat of Hatfield, takes victory there. 57.89, the fastest time, securing her place in the final in a few minutes indeed. Second goes to Amy Pemberton and third Victoria Daly. So ladies, if we could have the pool cleared to the side, please, Summers. And we will have a short break here for about 10 to 15 minutes to allow the finalists to gather their composure, get rehydrated, maybe get a bite to eat, and we look forward to welcoming you back for those championship finals for both the 100 meters breaststroke and the 100 meters freestyle. We shall welcome you back very shortly indeed. In lane number 6 from Berkhamsted, Amy Pemberton. In lane number 3 from Hatfield, Charlotte Williams. In lane number 5 from Bishop Stortford, it's Millie Fields. And in lane number 4 from Hatfield, Jessica Woodward. Ladies and gentlemen, these are your finalists for the women's 100 meters freestyle final. Over to you, referee. We saw some very strong swims in the heats from these ladies, particularly Jessica Woodward, Millie Fields and Amy Pemberton in the middle lanes. At the start then, it is very, very tight between Jessica Woodward and Millie Fields in 4 and 5 there. Turning first, it looks like Jessica Woodward just gets that turn. Up first though in lane 2 is Gabriela Gomez-Pavon, but as we move through the race here towards the halfway stage, it's looking like Woodward is in the lead. In lane number 4, she's turning first. 29.12, Williams in second, Fields in third. Not much in it as you can see on your scoreboard, but it is Jessica Woodward who is really starting to come through, facing some threats from Millie Fields and Charlotte Williams in 5 and 3. Can she hold them off? But Woodward up first, she's doing really, really well, managing just to hold off Charlotte Williams and Millie Fields, and she's going to be coming in and taking the county championship title here. 58.85, the only one in this heat, of course, subject to confirmation to go sub 1 minute here. Second goes to what would appear to be Amy Pemberton in lane number 6, and third goes to Charlotte Williams of Hatfield in lane number 3, 1 minute point 17, and that was incredibly tight between Charlotte Williams and Amy Pemberton, 0.01 between them. So ladies, if you wouldn't mind exiting the pool via the sides. But Jessica Woodward there of Hatfield taking the county championship title for the women's 100 meters freestyle. And could I have all competitors for the women's 200 meters backstroke to make their way to the marshalling area, please? As we thank our finalists for a thrilling race and prepare to welcome the gentlemen for the 200 meters butterfly. It's certainly an event one is not envious of those swimming, but it certainly will be an interesting event to watch, and I'm sure these gentlemen will do superbly in. We now move on to event 305, the men's open 200 meters butterfly. This will be swum over 3 heats. Heat 1, referee. In lane number 3 from Hatfield, we have Jamie Joshua. Ethan Howard of Potters Bar goes in lane 4, and Jason Ho of Hatfield in 5. Jamie Joshua certainly has had a busy championships. But leading the way thus far seems to be Ethan Howard, managing to hold off a challenge from Jason Ho of Hatfield. Not much in it at the turn. Now, 200 meters butterfly is an absolutely brutal event. It's about making sure that you're getting your pacing right and making sure that you're holding enough energy to actually finish the race and make sure actually you're finishing that race in a strong manner as well. It looks like Jason Ho has had the right tactics here, that's right technique. He's made sure that he's holding on, and now he's letting his energy reserve go down. But Jason Ho is going to be taking the win here, 2:19.14. Ethan Howard, he was leading for most of the way. That last 50 meter, he just slipped down into second, 2:20.60, but a very respectable time indeed. And third goes to Jamie Joshua, 2:35.07, concluding heat number 1 of the men's 200 meters butterfly. And we now move on to heat number 2. Over to you, referee. In lane of 1 from Hatfield, Daniel Beasley. George Hooper of the City of St Albans goes in 2. Archie Ran of Ware goes in lane number 3. Lane 4 is Daniel Ord of Bushy. Jack Barnard of Potters Bar goes in lane 5. George Taylor of Bishop Stortford in 6. William Lockwood of Hatfield in 7. And James Monks of Tring goes in lane number 8. Coming to the halfway stage here, it looks like a very strong swim from Bushy's Daniel Ord in lane number 4. 104.23, that's the 100 meter split. Jack Barnard in second, 105.95. Archie Ran 108.63 there. But of course, there is still 100 meters to go. As we saw in the last heat, anything can happen within those 100 meters. It's about back-end speed now. It's about making sure that the swimmers are focusing on finishing the race in a strong manner. But still leading the way, still having a good level of energy. We have Daniel Ord in lane 4 of Bushy. Second is still going to Jack Barnard and Archie Ran. The gap between them, these three swimmers, is starting to widen somewhat as we come on to the final few, well, the final turn here at the other end. A tired turn there looking from Daniel Ord in lane number 4. He does look a little bit shattered, one must say now, but aiming to finish this race strongly. It's a good back end from Jack Barnard in lane number 5 and Archie Ran over in lane 3. But winning this race, heat number 2, with a 2:21.62 is Daniel Ord there. Jack Barnard goes in second, 2:23.43. Jack managed to close the gap between himself and Daniel, and Archie Ran there, touching in third, 2:28.11. Moving on then to the final heat, Heat 3. Over to you, referee. In lane number 1 from Verulam, Oliver Fenwick. Lane 2 is Danny Foreman of Potters Bar. Kai Adams, his teammate, goes in 3. Lane 5, Joshua Ellis of Hatfield. Toby Martin of Harpenden goes in 6, with Daniel Williams of Hatfield in lane number 7. And in lane number 8, we have Max Lesnar of Potters Bar. Now, I've just been informed that these gentlemen are going to probably most likely have to swim this again if they make the championship final. Whether or not that is a blessing in disguise, only those swimmers in the water will be able to comment upon that. But as we look towards the pool, coming into the final 50 meters, we have Joshua Ellis of Hatfield. Him and Kai Adams of Potters Bar have been battling it out between them over the course of the 150-meter race, and it looks like Joshua Ellis just has that little bit more in the tank, has that little bit more energy and fuel to reach out in front. And he's coming down now onto his final 50 meters, still looking quite strong, maybe looking a little bit labored at the moment. But he is going to be coming in and he's going to be touching with a time of 2:20.28. Second goes to Kai Adams, 2:25.43. And Toby Martin there, 2:28.67. Now, as I said, either unfortunately or luckily for them, these gentlemen most likely will, of course, and I have to put this caveat on with the confirmation of the official result, will be swimming this race again in about half an hour. Swimmers, can we clear the pool via the sides? I have a notice of disqualification for event 305, heat 2, lane 6 for a technical infraction. That's event 305, heat 2, lane 6 for a technical infraction. And we now move on to event 306, the women's open 200 meters backstroke. This will be swum over 8 heats, heat 1, referee. Only 3 competitors in this first heat of the women's 200 meters backstroke. In lane 3, we have Erin Younger of the City of St Albans. Hetty McLean of Stevenage goes in 4. She's joined by her teammate Sophie Peterson in lane number 5. And it's a fantastic start from Erin Younger of the City of St Albans here in lane number 3. She's speeding in front of the rest of the pack here. Her personal best doesn't seem to be any time recorded, so it'll be very, very interesting to see what she swims. At the halfway stage then, Erin Younger of the City of St Albans won at 20.21. If one were to double that, that would be a 2:40 there or thereabouts. So we might be aiming for a sub-3 minute time for Erin Younger. But we will have to wait and see. Of course, that is a tier 5 entry. But I won't go into the detail of the meet conditions. I'm sure there are many people behind the blue curtain who would love to do that on my behalf. And we're going to the final 50 meters here for Erin Younger of the City of St Albans, 2:03.26. Now, it certainly, one would assume, doesn't take 1 minute to do a 50-meter backstroke. So one would assume that we are on course to hit sub-3 minutes here for Erin Younger, and that's a fantastic achievement for any swimmer, particularly on the 200 meters backstroke. As we come to the final 15 meters here for Erin Younger of the City of St Albans, final 5 meters here. She's going to be going sub-3 minutes, so congratulations to her. Is she going to go sub 2:50? Indeed she does. 2:45.54. A fantastic swim from Erin Younger of the City of St Albans there. A fantastic achievement to go sub-3 minutes. But if we look towards the far end of the pool, we have Hetty and Sophie of Stevenage battling it out here. Looks like Sophie is just pulling in front here of her teammate as they come into the final 5 meters. Sophie's going to be taking second position, 2:18.71. The other time we will, of course, await confirmation of, but if we can clear the pool via the sides, please. Moving on to Heat 2. Over to you, referee. In lane number 1, Evie Butterworth of Tring. Cassandra Pierre of Hatfield goes in 2. Maya Rubiou of Cheshunt in 3. Lane number 4 is Amy Whitten of Hatfield. Molly Seymour of Hoddesdon goes in 5. Molly Greatbatch of Bishop Stortford goes in lane 6. And in lane number 7, Tina Ruiz of Hatfield. Amy Britton taking the touch there, 2:51.8. Molly Seymour in second, 2:53.93. And Molly Greatbatch in third, 2:57.60. Also worth to mention, Evie Butterworth over in lane number 1, 2:58.78. All of those ladies going sub 3 minutes. So congratulations to them. Can we please clear the water by the side? Thank you very much. Heat 3, referee. In lane number 1, we have Isabella Savage of Potter's Bar. Now, this heat is filled with swimmers from Tring. I don't envy their coach and the amount of stopwatches they're going to be having to juggle. In lane number 2, we have Eddie Handhaven from Tring. Everett Cave, also of Tring, goes in 3. Sophie Bradley of Tring in 4. Talia Williams of Tring goes in 5. Lane number 7, we have Tia Gregory of Stevenage. And in lane number 8, Salia Randall of Watford.
She would have been fine.
Moving on to Heat 4. Over to you, referee. In lane number 1 from Potter's Bar, Gabriela Gomez-Pavon. Morgan Slade goes for Tring. In lane number 2, lane 3, Josephine Reed of Berkhamsted. Sophie Lyon of Stevenage goes in 4. Angelica Lazuskate of Watford in 5. Georgina Darcy of Royston in 6. Aoife James of Bishop Stortford in 7. And in lane number 8, we have Sophie Stelmarch of Stevenage. Taking the touch there, Gabriela Gomez-Pavon in lane number 1, 2:39.21. Second goes to Sophie Lyon in 4, 2:42.12. And third goes to Morgan Slade, 2:42.71. Ladies, if you wouldn't mind exiting the pool via the side as we prepare to move on to heat number 5. Moving on to Heat 5, referee. In lane number 1 from Royston, Olivia Lydon. Chloe Hodgkinson goes for Watford in lane number 2. Lane 3, Tamsin Moran of Berkhamsted. Gemma Robertson of Stevenage in 4. Hannah Lovelock of Hitchin in lane number 5. We have a trio from Hatfield in lanes 6, 7 and 8. Eva Ives in 6. Eva Glynn in 7. And Summer Boswell in lane number 8. Final few strokes there, and getting the touches, Eva Glynn in lane number 7, 2:34.8. Second goes to Olivia Lydon, all over on the other side of the pool, 2:35.82. And in third is Gemma Robertson, 2:37.08. Ladies, if you wouldn't mind exiting the pool via the side. We now move on to heat number 6. Over to you, referee. In lane number 1 from Hatfield, April Mills. Lane 2, Maya Shacknell of Watford. Elizabeth Standen of the City of St Albans goes in 3. Emma Craig of Harpenden in 4. Sophie Hollis of the City of St Albans goes in lane number 5. Amy Harper of Watford in 6. Holly Haynes of Bishop Stortford in 7. And her teammate Grace Mason joins her in lane number 8. Turning at the first 50 then, Emma Craig of Harpenden is in first. Sophie Hollis in second, Maya Chacknell in third. But there is still all to play for here. But these ladies are looking incredibly strong as they move through this 200 meters backstroke. Still in first position at the turn is Emma Craig of Harpenden. Now she is indeed the eldest competitor here by about 2 years. And her personal best is a 2:27.07. But at the halfway stage, she still seems to be going strong here. Sophie Hollis of the City of St Albans in lane number 5 is in second, about 4 seconds behind Emma. Maya Shacknell not too far behind Sophie Hollis in lane number 3, and Elizabeth Standen in 4th. But still in the lead is Emma Craig of Harpenden in lane number 4. She's gone out strong and she seems to be coming back even stronger. At the last turn, there was a 4-second gap between her and Sophie Hollis. I think that may have widened, 1:47.13. Sophie Hollis of the City of St Albans is going to turn second, 1:54.11, so that gap has indeed widened. Amy Harper now coming into the fray here in lane number 6. She's in third, 2 seconds behind Sophie Hollis, but moving our sights back towards the front, it is going to be Emma Craig of Harpenden here. She has led the way since the start, and she is going to be coming in now to the final few strokes of this 200 meters backstroke. 2:24.35. Sophie Hollis of the City of St Albans looking to be coming in second position, 2:33.15. And Amy Harper there just getting the touch, a second in front of Elizabeth Standen with a time of 2:33.74. But of course, and as I say, the caveat is we do have to wait for confirmation of the official result. But ladies, if you wouldn't mind exiting the pool via the sides, so that we are able to move on to our penultimate heat of this 200 meters backstroke and then on to the finals in due course. The penultimate heat of the women's 200 metres backstroke, heat 7. Over to you, referee. In lane number 1, we have Charlotta Gates of Harpenden. Lane 2, Emma Fields of Bishop Stortford. Hannah Brooke of the City of St Albans goes in 3. Charlotte Williams of Hatfield in 4. Neve O'Mara of Watford in lane number 5. In lane 6, we have Dorothy Jarrock of Verulam. Lane 7, Catherine Ryan of Hoddesdon. And in lane number 8, Isla Carville of Hertford. At the first 50 turn then, Charlotte Williams of Hatfield is in the lead. Hannah Brooke of the City of St Albans not too far behind in second, but we also have Neve O'Mara of Watford in lane number 5. She's in third position here. Charlotte Williams has had a very busy championships thus far. One would imagine that that is going to be the way of which it continues. But she is indeed in the lead here as she comes to her halfway stage. On to the turn now, 1:08.73. Second goes to Neve O'Mara, who's just managed to push in front of Hannah Brooke by 0.05 there. But back towards the front, we have Charlotte Williams of Hatfield in the lead. Now, bearing in mind, all of these ladies are going to possibly be aiming to get into the championship final in a very short while. But Charlotte Williams here, the second fastest qualifier in the 200-meter backstroke. She's certainly showing why she's got that time here as we come on to the final turn very, very soon indeed. Charlotte Williams still in first, O'Mara in second, Hannah Brooke in third. Final 15 meters now though for Charlotte Williams of Hatfield. Her personal best is 2:24.87. We're going on to a 2:22.43. Looking like a personal best for Charlotte Williams there. Second is going to go to Hannah Brooke. What a fantastic comeback there for Hannah Brooke of the City of St Albans. Just pipping Neve O'Mara to the post there. 2:30.54 from Hannah Brooke. Neve O'Mara just getting in there in second position. 2:30.81. As we ask the ladies in the water to exit the pool via the side. We move on now to heat number 8. Over to you, referee. In lane number 1, we have Amy Borum of Watford. Tia Patel goes for Hatfield in 2. Kamalai Bernier of Hatfield in 3. Lane number 4 is Neve James, the fastest qualifier in this event from Bishop Stortford. Phoebe Matthews of Hatfield goes in 5. Grace Crawley of Watford in 6. Isabella O'Leary goes in lane number 7 for Hemel Hempstead. And Freya Riley in lane number 8 for Bishop Stortford. It comes as no surprise that Neve James of Bishop Stortford is in the lead after the first 50. Phoebe Matthews of Hatfield not too far behind her there. But still in front is Neve James of Bishop Stortford. Phoebe Matthews in second. Camille Vernier in lane number 3 in third here. But as you can see, there is quite a distinct formation in the pool at this moment in time. Neve James 108.05, Phoebe Matthews in second 111.77, Camille Vernier in third 113.63. Not much in it there between the top, well, quite a bit actually between the top 3 and the rest of the cohort here. But Neve James now is really starting to push forward. She's starting to make, well, have quite a substantial margin, quite a substantial gap between her and the next competitor, which is Phoebe Matthews in lane number 5. But look at Neve James now. She really is starting to move, maybe slowing down a little bit to try and conserve as much energy as possible for the final session. But as we now turn on to the final 25 meters, 15 meters, Neve James, the fastest qualifier, she's going to be going into the final as the fastest qualifier for the 200 meters backstroke. She's going to be touching here on a time of 2:19.76. Second looks like it's going to be heading towards Phoebe Matthews' direction. 2:29.22, and Camille Vernier in lane number 3, 2:30.64. But no one was able to beat Neve James in lane number 4. She will be securing her place in the championship final. Ladies, if you wouldn't mind exiting the pool via the sides, we now will have a break for about 10 to 15 minutes whilst we gather our finalists together, give them a time to compose themselves, get a drink of water, refuel, rehydrate, and we look forward to welcoming you back to that very shortly indeed. We now move on to event 307, the men's open 200 meters butterfly final. Ladies and gentlemen, give these swimmers a big round of applause and a big welcome to the poolside. In lane number 8 from Harpenden, Toby Martin. In lane number 1 from Ware, Archie Ran. In lane number 7 from Potter's Bar, Kai Adams. In lane 2 from Potter's Bar, Jack Barnard. In lane number 6 from Bushy, Daniel Ord. In lane number 3 from Potter's Bar, Ethan Howard. In lane number 5 from Hatfield, Joshua Ellis. And ladies and gentlemen, in lane number 4 from Hatfield, Jason Ho. These are your finalists for the men's 200 meters butterfly final. Over to you, referee. So the majority, well, all of these boys have only just swum 200 meters butterfly around half an hour, 45 minutes ago. So they are going to be quite tired, one would assume, from that coming into a final even more so. But Daniel Ord over in lane number 6 from Bushy, he seems to be doing very, very well here. He's starting to lead after the first 50 meters. At the turn, though, Daniel Ord in first, second is Kai Adams, Ethan Howard, Joshua Ellis in third and fourth, but there's still all to play for. We don't know how much energy these chaps have in the tank they have left, but it seems to be a very strong start, strong and swift start from Daniel Ord in lane number 6. Joshua Ellis and Kai Adams in 5 and 7, starting to come up on his side, as is Jason Ho of Hatfield and Ethan Howard of Potters Bar. But at the halfway stage, it still is Daniel Ord who is in the lead. Joshua Ellis not too far behind. Kai Adams now in third. Ethan Howard in fourth. Jason Ho in fifth. But to be quite frank with you, ladies and gentlemen, there has not been too much divergence here as we approach onto the 125 leg. Who's taken the lead though? It's Joshua Ellis in lane number 5 of Hatfield who has taken the lead. Daniel Orderbushy dropping down into third. Jason Ho in third here. But Joshua Ellis, Jason Ho, Daniel Ord, 1, 2 and 3 as they come on to the final 50 meters here. Joshua Ellis of Hatfield, the pink of Hatfield, still in the lead. Jason Ho in lane number 4. He's in second. Daniel Ord dropping into third as Ethan Howard in lane 3 from Potters Bar, picking up the speed. And ladies and gentlemen, the two Hatfield teammates, Jason Ho and Joshua Ellis in 4 and 5, battling it out here. It looks like Jason Ho is just in front. He has had an absolutely splendid race. What a technique, what a tactic there. 2:19.09. Jason Ho gets the championship. Joshua Ellis in second, with Ethan Howard in third. But my goodness me, Jason Ho paced that superbly. He made sure that he had enough speed on the back end and really came through on that last 50 meters to take the championship title here. Gentlemen, I know you're shattered, but if you wouldn't mind exiting the pool via the side so we can move on to the women's 200 meters backstroke. Ladies and gentlemen, swimmers, we have another little bit of lame rope in the water. Who wants to be a volunteer, a sacrificial lamb, if you wouldn't like? Young man, have you got some trunks on? Good. Have you got trunks on? Good. Come on then. Come on down. A big round of applause, please. Thank you very much to the young chap who's just about to get absolutely drenched. What's his name, anyone? Sorry? I have no idea what on earth you've just said. Fabian. Fabian is going to be coming down. And what club's that from? Hoddesdon. Superb. Absolute big hand, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to come around there. Sometimes this does happen. It's great to get a little bit of audience participation. And he's off. Will he be able to find the little piece of plastic? He has, holding it up triumphantly. Woohoo! Jolly good stuff, well done, and he touches in there. First position for him. Is there another bit? I'm trying to remember, is this music where Jack on the Titanic holds Rose up on the bow? I don't know. Is it? Good stuff. Well done, well done. For the second time. His heart will go on as he exits the pool via the poolside. A big round of applause, please, for Fabian of Hoddesdon. As we now move on to event 308, the women's 200 metres backstroke final. In lane number 8, ladies and gentlemen, from the city of St Albans, Sophie Hollis. In lane number 1, from Watford, Neve O'Mara. In lane number 7, from Hatfield, Camille Veneer. In lane number 2, from the city of St Albans, Hannah Brooke. In lane 6 from Hatfield, Phoebe Matthews. In lane 3 from Harpenden, Emma Craig. In lane number 5 from Hatfield, Charlotte Williams. And in lane number 4 from Bishop Stortford, Neve James. Ladies and gentlemen, these are your finalists for the women's 200 metres backstroke final. Over to you, referee. Neve James, our fastest qualifier for this evening's final. From Bishop Stortford, she's had a very busy championships, but it looks like Charlotte Williams is up first and she's in front, but of course there is still 175 metres to go. At the turn though, not much in it between Emma, Neve and Charlotte in 3, 4 and 5. Charlotte Williams starting to push forward, starting to pull in front of Neve James there. But at the turn, Emma Craig in lane number 3, she's in first. Charlotte Williams in second, Neve James in third. There is still all to play for there. Not much in it at all, 0.05 between these 3 ladies. Neve James starting to come into the lead in lane number 4. Charlotte Williams flanking her to her left, Emma Craig on her right. But Charlotte Williams not letting Neve James get too far in front. At the turn, at the halfway stage, Neve James is going to be turning first, not by an awful lot there, not by about 0.16 there between Neve and Charlotte. Emma Craig in lane number 3 of Harpenden in third position. But as we come on to the final 75 metres, it's so close, so tight between Neve and Charlotte in 4 and 5. But who has got the most energy left into the tank? Is this going to be a decisive victory or is this going to be a fingernail finish? We shall soon see. But Charlotte Williams there, she's retaken the lead here. 146.40. 0.08 behind her is Neve James. Emma Craig and Phoebe Matthews in third and fourth. Neve James though in fourth, starting to come back here as they go on to the final turn. James is in first, Williams in second. Is it going to be the black hat of Bishop Stortford or the pink hat of Hatfield who's taking victory here? It's such a close run-of-the-mill thing. They're coming into the final 5 metres. Who's going to get the touch? And it's just going to be Neve James there, 2:20.88. Charlotte Williams, 2:21.23. Emma Craig in third, 225.20. But that was such a close run-of-the-mill thing between Neve James in lane 4 and Charlotte Williams in 2. Neve just had that little bit extra energy, that little bit extra power to push her over the line, particularly after the halfway stage. So ladies, I know you're incredibly shattered and tired, but if you wouldn't mind exiting the pool via the side, that would be most appreciated. And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes session number 5 of the Swim England Hertfordshire County Championships 2022. Of course, you can relive all of the action via the Swim England Hertfordshire YouTube channel, and of course, keep up to date with all of the results via Sports Systems. The warm-up for the next session will begin shortly, and more details, of course, will be disseminated shortly. But I wish to say thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to welcoming you back for session number 6 of the Hertfordshire County Championships 2022.